And then there was one less free agent on the market. Now we are down to 2. Who's going to be next? So Josh Giddey officially is signing a contract to stay in Chicago. That is big news. Not really all that surprising. We expected this to happen. And it does seem like they met in the middle for a lot of this reporting. So we're going to cover that in today's video. I hope you guys enjoy this video here on the Basketball Bulletin. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Let's get this video up to 300 likes as a goal. We appreciate your support. Thank you so much. So Shams reported today, just in, restricted free agent Josh Giddey has reached agreements on a 4-year, $100 million deal to re-sign with the Chicago Bulls. And management tells ESPN. So here's a fun thing about this. I'm going to ask you guys this in the comments. Overpay? Underpay, just right. What is this? Let me know in the comments. Really interested to hear how you guys feel about this. And the question about this is like, which Giddey are you getting? I'll talk more about that in a moment. But Giddey is coming off a career season in Chicago, scoring 14.6 points per game while averaging career highs in rebounds at 8.1 and assists at 7.2, steals at 1.2, and three-pointers at 37.8. And he also averaged, this is the question here, 21 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists on 50% shooting and 46% threes after the All-Star break. That is 2 entirely different players. So, which Giddey are you getting? It's probably somewhere in the middle, but we're going to talk about that in a moment. But overall, though, I like this. I do like this personally, to answer my own question. 25, I think, is just the right amount. I think it's pretty safe. You know, there's reports he was wanting like 30. It was reports they were coming closer to 20. And then those numbers started to change a little bit, 22 versus like 28. So it's like, man, just meet in the middle at 25 or so. Seems like they did that here. 4 years, $100 million deal overall. So I can't be too mad at that. They gave up Alex Caruso, who was a vital piece to a team that literally won a championship after acquiring him. Obviously, other things are factored there, but he was huge for that team. And they didn't get back any picks. They just got back, quote unquote, only Josh Giddey. So I think that they had to invest here. Now, they do have other questions to solve regarding their roster, some of the other guard depth on this team, but I think that they had to just get this domino going. And I talked about earlier how there's 2 left. It's not that there's 2 free agents, just to clarify. 2 of the big 4 restricted guys are now off the market. So we still have Grimes, still have Kuminga, but, you know, Cam got that qualifying. Giddey got a new deal. It's interesting to see how these guys are just in entirely different situations, where one organization's like, we want you, we're going to invest in you. And another is like, no, we don't, because we want to go elsewhere. And then you have Kuminga, who's like, oh, we want to invest in you, but not because we want you. Some guys do in the organization, of course, but not all of us want you. We mainly want you as the asset. And then Grimes, it's like, we don't really know what we have here. So it's interesting to see the situation that all these guys are in. But we're going to get to this and more after a quick word from today's video sponsor.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today, get up to $100 credit using code Bulletin. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
Thank you, Sleeper, of course. And so let's talk a little bit more about this. Dive into the numbers for Giddey. Like we mentioned earlier, he had a very different season pre and post All-Star break, and we can see that right here. Pre-All-Star break, he averaged 12.2 points. Post All-Star break, which is 19 games versus 51 pre, he had 21 points. So he went up literally 9 points in scoring post All-Star break. Other than that, the blocks are largely the same. Steals do go up a bit. Assists go up by almost 3 assists. He goes from 6.4 to 9.3 post All-Star break. Rebounds go up by 3.5, 7.1 to 10.7. This is a very different player pre and post. And a lot of that was also opportunities, usage, and minutes. Because if we look at the minutes, he also started getting another 5.5 or so minutes per game. So some of that's there too. His volume of shots went up. He took another 4 shots per game on higher efficiency. 3-point volume stayed roughly the same, except he was blistering hot. That's one of the huge things that happened here, is he was blistering hot, particularly in April, where he shot 40%, and then February, where he shot 53% on 5 attempts per game. So towards that latter half of the season there, or I guess last quarter of the season, he really shot extremely well, averaging out to 46% rounded up on 4.3 attempts per game, 80% from free throw line. Like, so really the big thing here is he took more shots. He hit much more of his threes because he goes from 34.5 to 45.5 pre and post and 3-point percentage. But his teammates got going more as well. So he got more assists as well. And then he got more rebounds. So it's just across the board. Very different. So what do I think the real Giddey is? Probably somewhere in the middle of this. Here's a deal, though. If you have a guy that can play make for you, create 6 to 7 or 8 assists in that range, 6.5, 7, somewhere in that range, can get you 7 boards, can get you 17, 18 points. I like that player. Can also shoot, hopefully, 34, 35%, 36%. I like that player, man. Is assuming that he is not such an abysmal negative on the defensive side. Giddey does have his ups and downs there. He's not the greatest defender, but he at least tries a little bit, so I can give him that. But he's not a guy I would say we're going to have you guard our top, opposition. Don't hear what I'm not saying. That's a Trevorism. But yeah, and if he's able to be like a great spot up shooter, particularly from different zones on the floor, that's fine. But yeah, I actually really like that a lot. I think people think he's worse than he is. Now, all of this came on the Chicago Bulls, who obviously weren't a great team. They're not really doing nothing. But I think you have to get these guys in order to start building yourself up. And he's a piece. I do think he could be a piece to being what you're trying to build out going forward. And he's also got great size. And I think with that, you could play a really switchy scheme. You get more athletes around him, things like that. But again, they do have some questions. Ideally, actually, like Lonzo would have been a good guard to have alongside him. But they do have some questions about the other guards in the roster, right? And that's something they'll have to figure out. They have multiple questions, Williams, all that stuff. They got a lot of stuff to kind of figure out. But I think that locking in that contract, was a great step in the right direction for the Bulls. Let's get back to the article from Shams. Restricted free agent Giddey has reached agreement on a 4-year, $100 million deal. The deal is fully guaranteed and contains no options. Okay. I don't mind that though. Like I don't mind that at all. Like I think they met in the middle completely met in the middle. No options, nothing. Just completely in the middle. Giddey cements himself as the Bulls' cornerstone at starting point guard, following the franchise landing him via trade for Alex Caruso. Giddey is coming off a career season in Chicago, scoring 14.6 points per game while averaging 8.1 rebounds, 7 assists, a steal, and 38% from 3. Yeah, so like those crazy averages. so like he all those numbers are much lower pre-All-Star break, but the 19 games after really just absolutely vaulted these numbers up to higher tiers, of course. And so the question is like, is this like actual career or this season average more in line with who Giddey is? Are you comfortable paying $25 million for a guy averaging 15 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, a steal, and shoots 38%? Yeah, like that's a good player. I wouldn't be mad at that at all, right? He posted 7 triple doubles, the second most in a campaign in Bulls history, trailing Michael Jordan. That's rarefied air there. Giddey's performance went to a higher level after the break and the trade of all-star guard Zach LaVine. And that is, I forgot to mention that. I mentioned opportunity. That is one of the big things that was kind of happening. Earlier on in the season, they had to placate LaVine. He was out there. He was getting up a lot of shots. Frankly, LaVine was awesome on the Bulls. And we were talking at one point during the season that it was unfortunate that he was shooting the way he was. He was playing like he was a guy averaging 45% from threes, just like Giddey was post All-Star. So he basically left and transferred that power, except he kept it. But Giddey, I guess, got some of the juice. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, LaVine was awesome. And that opportunity for him really erupted after they traded LaVine. LaVine was also causing them to win a couple more games than they wanted to win. So that was a benefit to both sides, right? The 6'8" product shined as a leader on the Bulls, averaging 21, 11, and 9. On March 22nd against the Lakers, Giddey became the first player with 15 points, 15 assists, 10 rebounds, and 8 steals. That game was ridiculous. In an NBA game since steals became an official stat in 1973. The Bulls had a 15-5 finish to last season to secure a play-in tournament berth as well. Giddey played in 13 of those games and averaged 21 points, 11 rebounds, and 9.7 assists over that span. See, this is what I'm talking about. He clearly is impacting winning. I do think he's a player that could be a good piece to this organization. And they need more guys like that. They've got some guys, of course, but he's clearly impacting them. For the final month of the season, he played through a muscle tear in the palm of his right shooting hand. And Giddey was the number 6 pick in the 2021 draft, and he quickly showcased an ability to fill the stat sheet. Remains the youngest player in NBA history to record a triple-double. And the rest of this is just talking about the other guys that are free agents as well. So let me know what you guys think about Josh Giddey and his deal. I mean, like I said, maybe you could argue maybe he should be closer to 20, but I think that I like this because they lock him up for 4 years, and he may be outplaying this value a couple years from now, right? Like he may be worth more like 35. Remember, salary caps will be going up, but he may be worth more like 35 a couple years from now, but they're going to still have him on that $25 million deal. So I like that a lot. Let me know what you guys think and more and all that in the comments. So we'll see you all later because I can't talk. My brain's elsewhere. I'll see you all later. Have an awesome day.